Hola a todos, buenas tardes a todos nuestros seguidores, EduBuddies. El día de hoy, sean bienvenidos a esta sesión virtual en la cual vamos a hablar sobre community colleges. Vamos a hablar sobre también qué es el 2 más 2, cómo hacer una
Hola a
transferencia a una
todos, buenas
universidad.
tardes a todos nuestros seguidores, everybody's.
Un
El
segundito.
día de hoy, sean bienvenidos.
Y bueno, vamos a comenzar primero que nada con un poquito hablando sobre Education USA. ¿Qué hacemos en Education USA? Mi nombre es Alejandro Brita, soy el asesor de Education USA en la ciudad del Cusco. Y bueno, vamos a comenzar con... Uy, sorry. ¿Qué es Education USA? ¿No? Education USA es parte del Departamento de Estado, es una red global la cual tiene por fin promover la educación superior en los Estados Unidos. ¿Sí? Todos los servicios básicos que nosotros ofrecemos en todas nuestras oficinas del mundo son libres de cargo para estudiantes, ¿no? Y también nosotros siempre estamos viendo que todas las universidades, ¿no?, a las cuales se postulen sean acreditadas. Asimismo, tenemos más de 430 centros de consejería en todo el mundo. Somos más de 550 consejeros también que están en todo el mundo y van a poder encontrar una oficina en en varias partes de Perú. Por ejemplo, ahí pueden ver el mapita de Perú, pueden ver un QR, pueden buscar ahí cuál es la oficina que se encuentra más cerca a ustedes y pueden contactarse con uno de los asesores. ¿Sí? Tenemos oficinas en Piura, tenemos oficinas en Chiclayo, en Trujillo, en Lima también hay la oficina en la Comisión Fulbright. También está la oficina en el IPNA Lima y también tenemos una oficina en la Universidad Científica del Sur. Asimismo, tenemos oficinas en Arequipa, en Hilo, en Cusco, en Tarapoto, en Puno y en Tacna. Si ustedes desean recibir más información, contáctense con nosotros, contáctense con un asesor para poder ayudarles en lo que necesiten. Este año nosotros estamos celebrando los 250 años básicamente, que es una fecha súper importante para todo lo que es Education USA y Estados Unidos, bajo el logo Freedom 250. ¿Sí? ¿Qué se conmemora? Se conmemora los 250 años desde la Declaración de Independencia, que fue en 1776, ¿no? Y esta celebración, ¿no?, se enfoca en tres temas importantes, ¿no? La historia y el legado americano, la innovación, ¿no?, que fue algo que formó la nación, y cómo fortalecer comunidades, ¿sí? Asimismo, sobre los community colleges, ¿no? Ah, estos, están celebrando el 125 aniversario, ¿sí? Ahora, también quiero invitar a todo nuestro público a poder registrarse para nuestros Community College Fairs que vamos a tener en Perú. El 23 de marzo en Lima, el 25 de marzo en Cusco. ¿Sí? Para poder registrarse y para poder, primero que nada, para poder acceder a las ferias, tienen que registrarse. Ahí tienen los códigos QR. En Lima ya nos están quedando pocos espacios disponibles para poder asistir al Community College Fair. Así es que inscríbanse a la brevedad. del caso. Y en Cusco también las inscripciones están abiertas. Son espacios limitados para poder acceder a esta feria. Tendremos varias universidades de los varios community college de los Estados Unidos que nos van a estar visitando en estas dos ciudades, ¿sí? Y no se olviden, tienen que descargar después los tickets para que el día de la feria puedan ser escaneados y puedan entrar a las ferias. No se olviden también de seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales. Tenemos Facebook, tenemos Instagram y tenemos el YouTube. Nosotros vamos a estar ahí enviando o publicando toda la información sobre lo que son community colleges y también sobre los diferentes otros programas, ¿no? Talleres, información para poder realizar estudios en los Estados Unidos y mucho más. Bueno, y ahora vamos a dar la bienvenida, or let's swap to English. Yes, let's welcome Grace Kibney, Juan Diaz, and Shana Owens. They are going to be presenting today about community colleges, the famous 2+2. It's going to be explained, and this process of getting finishing your career at a university studying 4 years. Grace, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you could be joining us. Today's topic will feature a conversation about pathways to U.S. universities for international students, the Community College Advantage. Your presenters will be myself. I am Grace Kifney, Admissions Coordinator at Bunker Hill Community College, and Zana Owens.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session. It's very exciting to be here today. My name is Janna Owens. I'm a Senior Assistant Director for International Admissions, and I work in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, which is 4 plus other programs, 4-year institution that we will be talking about the connection between the community colleges and 4-year institutions. So I represent UMass Boston, one of the public institutions here in the state of Massachusetts. So Grace and I will be talking about about the pathways and how connection works and how great it is. And we'll let Juan introduce himself as well. And then we'll move over to our topic.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for that. As you know, I'm Juan Esteban Diaz Hernandez. I'm from Colombia. I'm an international student here in Boston. Currently, I'm studying at Bunker Hill. This is my last semester, and I was already admitted to UMass Boston, so that's gonna be my next step to finish my major in psychology.
Thank you. And so to start, let's go over the agenda briefly. So tonight's presentation will cover an overview of community colleges, an overview of transfer agreements, and then we'll focus on one example, which is the transfer agreement between the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and Bunker Hill Community College. And we'll share how you can participate in that program if you're interested. And then at the end of the session, we have some questions for Juan, so you can learn about the student experience, and then we'll open it up to your questions. All right, so let's dive in. To start off, let's discuss what is a community college. I'm sure many of you are already aware of community colleges, but if you're not, community colleges are a very important part of the U.S. higher education system. Community colleges were established to provide more opportunities of higher education to a greater number of people in the population. Community colleges are government funded, so we receive most of our funding from the government, the state of Massachusetts, and that allows us to offer much lower tuition than many other kinds of institutions. Community colleges are also non-selective institutions, which means that as long as you have graduated from high school, you're eligible to apply to community college. So this means that our student population is very diverse. At community colleges, we offer a degree called an associate's degree, which is approximately the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree. It's a 2-year program. So you may have already heard of the 2+2 model. This just means essentially that you would enroll at a community college, complete your associate degree in about 2 years, and then transfer to a 4-year college or university, do 2 more years of study, and then graduate with your bachelor's degree. So there are many advantages of starting your educational journey at a community college. But some of the major benefits are the significant financial savings that you can make over your first 2 years of study. We'll talk about the cost of attendance at Bunker Hill and the University of Massachusetts at Boston a little bit later in the presentation, but you can see that the cost of tuition at Bunker Hill is very affordable, so you can save over that period of 2 years before you transfer and get your bachelor's degree. Another benefit of the community college is our small class sizes, right? Because community colleges are generally smaller institutions than a lot of 4-year universities, so you can take advantage of small class sizes from your first semester at school. Another advantage of community colleges is the easy admissions process, right? So I mentioned before that community colleges are non-selective. That means we have fewer admissions criteria than other institutions. For example, we don't require you to write any essays in the application. We don't require any letters of recommendation. We don't require any specific grade point average from your high school grades. Our application process is very simple. Community colleges usually have a quick questionnaire where you're answering some questions about yourself, and then you submit some documents, and you can complete the application process in less than half an hour. Community colleges also have rolling admissions, which means you can apply to different semesters all year long. So it's a more flexible way to start your educational journey. And finally, one of the best advantages of community colleges is the transfer pathways that community colleges have with 4-year institutions. So these are established agreements that community colleges have with 4-year colleges and institutions to smooth the transfer pathway so you can graduate with your bachelor's degree on time and with saving money. So that said, I'll pass it over to Shauna to talk a little bit about some concerns you might have about the transfer process.
Thank you, Grace. So as you have seen with the 2+2 model, you will have to go through a transfer process. However, with that model being established, you will already be familiar with the system of education. Some of the terminology maybe that colleges use, when it comes to the application fee or not having one because you're transferring through a transfer agreement. It is significantly simplified. It is made, our close conversations between the partner institutions, the 2-year colleges and the 4-year institutions, make that process a lot easier, a lot smoother. And again, there is a lot few things to do for students to submit. And in the meantime, I mean, first you will have some time. You will get to meet new students who will be at a 2-year school with you. And as you go through classes, maybe you'll meet new friends in the same major, or it might be in some clubs or organizations or different events that take place on campus. You will already be in the same probably local area that you will be if you were to transfer schools. So you won't have to adjust to the new area or the new city and getting to learn new transportation system. Or again, what different offices mean on campuses. What is a bursar's office? What is a registrar's office? You will already know that, and you will know how to make an appointment, for example, with an academic advisor, or how to take care of your bill with questions like that, or arrange your housing. Again, during those first 2 years, as you get to go through your associate's degree program, you will learn what the classroom environment and atmosphere is like, what the interaction with the professors are, what is expectations in the classroom, and you will be prepared to jump right into your third-year courses most likely at the junior year level, without having to go through that transition, with already being prepared for, what the schedule may look like. We'll be talking a little bit more about the support that you receive throughout the whole time from day one. Oftentimes it is set up jointly together between 2 schools, having in-person support services at the community college as well as at the 4-year institution. So there are so many fewer things to worry about, because you will already be a pro at that, kind of to say. So those agreements, again, a lot of work gets done to put those agreements in place to make that process easier, smoother, and also make sure one big benefit that you will see in just a few minutes is that courses that you complete will transfer to the 4-year institution. And again, you will be on track to your bachelor's degree, which we go back to the time saving, being on track, completing your degree in 4 years, as well as making that financial plan towards your bachelor's degree. So there's lots of good things about those transfer agreements. So maybe at the beginning, as you come to a different education system, there will be new things, but that process and the support staff at both institutions will support you through that. That's me too. Okay, so what is a transfer agreement? It is a formal official partnership between 2 or more colleges or universities that streamlines the transfer process for students. Again, it is based on actual practices that both institutions use. Those agreements guarantee. So again, they simplify, they make the transfer process easier, and they guarantee that specific courses or completed associate degrees at a community college will transfer and apply toward a bachelor's degree at a 4-year institution. You will actually be able to look at degree plans, how the associate's degree courses align and transfer directly to a 4-year. You will see one study plan between 2 institutions that will show you how you progress that. You will know which courses to take at each college, how many of those courses will transfer, and how they will satisfy general education requirements and your major classes. In the US, a 4-year degree is typically consists of 2 years of general education courses, about 60 credits, and your introductory major courses, which will be covered through your first 2 years at the associate's degree, and then you go into the higher level major specific classes. So again, transfer agreements help us put those study guides or degree plans in a formal way that the students know what they're working on and what they will achieve at the end of 2 years at first, and then at the end of the 4 years. So these are some of the terminology from ACRO.
All right, and so now that we've covered sort of the basics of what is a community college and what is a transfer agreement, we wanted to highlight a specific example, which is the Joint Admissions Program. It's called the Future Beacon Joint Admissions Program that exists between Bunker Hill Community College and the University of Massachusetts, Boston. So some of the benefits of this program are as listed on the slide. Starting with, as soon as you indicate your interest in this program, you will have advisors, both from Bunker Hill Community College and UMass Boston, helping you to select your courses to ensure that your credits will transfer to UMass Boston. Additionally, you'll receive a UMass Boston ID card to access the facilities, invitations to special events, consideration for special scholarships, and early course registration upon transfer to UMass Boston. This program is really designed for students in the first year of study at an associate's degree, so that is before you have earned 30 credits. However, you know, if you're a little bit later than that, you can still participate in the program, but it's best if you join in the program when you have fewer than 30 college credits. So that would be in your first or second semester. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Shauna?
I do just want to add to the name of this joint admissions program. It is called the Future Beacon. It is really, so it uses the name of UMass Boston's, our mascot. So we are beacons. So when you come to UMass Boston after getting your associate's degree, you become, but actually with that program, you become a beacon. And who do you guys have as a mascot, Grace?
We are the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Charlie the
Yes.
Bulldog. Mhm.
So you can be both, right, for those 2 years through that. So the Future Beacon, that's where the name of that program comes from.
Thank you. Okay, so just to focus a little bit on Bunker Hill Community College, I'd like to give you just a brief introduction to our school. Bunker Hill Community College is a public 2-year higher education institution located in the heart of Boston. We offer 88 associate degree and certificate programs. So if you're planning to transfer, I recommend you enroll in an associate degree program. We have around 11,500 students, and of those students, around 750 are international students with an F1 visa, coming from around 80 different countries. We have 30 student clubs and organizations. So if your particular interest does not exist as a club, you can always form your own club. Our average class size is 26 students, and our average estimated cost of attendance for the fall 2026 session is $31,000. And this estimated cost of attendance includes your tuition, fees, and estimated living expenses, as will be listed on your I-20. However, our actual cost of tuition and fees for one academic year is approximately $15,000. And a fun fact about Bunker Hill Community College is that our institution enrolls more F1 international students than any other community college in Massachusetts.
Well, I think I have to say it is very impressive that you guys have almost 12,000 students on campus. I think that is really, really impressive. So that speaks to the great offerings at Bunker Hill and the great diversity that you guys have. So I will kind of take it over onto UMass Boston's side to tell you guys a little bit more about our campus. We are Boston's only public research university. So Grace talked a little bit earlier about Bunker Hill being supported by state funding. It is the same for our campus. We are part of the University of Massachusetts system. And last year, it was a very exciting time for us. We received R1 Carnegie classification for high-level research. You will ask what that means. What that means, there's only about a dozen other institutions in the region that have this classification. It means that the funding for the research, the doctorate level of work, and the how many students pursuing a PhD program at UMass Boston speaks to quality and the volume of research in many different academic areas. So we were very excited to be recognized with that classification. Same as with Bunker Hill, Grace touched upon, UMass Boston. I think one of the things that makes UMass Boston stand out when I'm asked about it is our diversity. We're third most diverse institution in the US and the most diverse institution in the area of New England. Again, we also have students representing over 130 different countries, speaking over 80 different languages. That's why I was somewhat surprised that we are actually quite not that far from Bunker Hill. We have about 15,500 students. About 12,000 are undergraduate and about 4,000 students are graduate who are pursuing master's and PhD programs. Out of that number, about 1,800 are international students. Again, that is for an F1 visa holders, for students on an F1 visa. But again, we do have students with various diverse backgrounds. We do have over 160 clubs and organizations, both academic and social. One of my favorite sites on every Thursday is the chess club that students set up right in front in the lobby near the admissions office. So that's the club that I observe every week, having fun together. We have 20 NCAA Division III teams. So lots of tournaments happening actually right now in our men's and women's hockey and a couple of other sports. Average class size, of course, is very important. 28 students is average class size and 17:1 student to faculty ratio. When it comes to cost of attendance, there is a bit of difference going from a 2-year community college to a 4-year institution. It is something that you would see typically when you transition. For UMass Boston, our annual cost of attendance for fall 2026 is $60,832, which breaks down into about $42,000 tuition and fees and about $17,000 living expenses. Again, these are the fees listed on an I-20. And as another benefit of a 2+2, again, of the easy simplified process, your I-20 transfer is also very smooth. At the end of your last semester, you request your CVIS number, your I-20, to be transferred to your new school. And again, that is all very well coordinated. So that is some of the fun facts about UMass Boston. Okay.
Did you want to take this one?
No,
or shall
please
I?
go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So if you have heard this information and you're interested in joining the Future Beacon program, you can do so in a few simple steps. The first step is to apply and be admitted to Bunker Hill Community College. That's where you'll start. You can indicate your interest in the Future Beacon program in the application. But if you forget to do that, you can always indicate your interest to an academic advisor after you start your associate degree. You'll also need to attend a BHCC UMB joint admissions info session so you can learn about the process. And you'll also meet with a UMass Boston enrollment counselor who will help you specifically through that program. Is there anything you'd like to add, Shanna?
Just one thing is that those services are available throughout your whole time. For example, UMass Boston's enrollment counselor comes to Bunker Hill campus twice a week. In person, she's available. I mean, of course, that's in addition to the emails and Zoom appointments, but that support goes throughout the whole time you're there. That would be all.
Thanks. All right, and so as I mentioned, if you're interested and you'd like to apply or you'd like to find out more, you can connect with us through many different methods. That QR code on the right side of the screen is actually a link to the application to Bunker Hill Community College. And if you have any more questions for me after this session, you can reach me at international@bhcc.edu. Or you can visit our website there on the screen, bhcc.edu/international center, and join one of our drop-in info sessions, which happens every Wednesday from 2 to 3 and Friday from 9 to 10. So you can pop into one of those sessions and ask any questions that you might have of our international admissions staff.
And for UMass Boston, very similar ways to connect with us via email. All of the application information is listed on our main admissions webpage. You can schedule an individual Zoom appointment. Those are front-facing links that you can connect with myself or one of my colleagues. We do run monthly webinars that, again, you can join. We go over the application process, we go over the application requirements, some more highlights of the university, and you can join and hear from our current students as well as the overview of the application process. So same variety of different ways to connect with us. Would love to chat with you if you just want to get more clarification or when you're ready to apply, we're happy to meet with you.
Great, and so I'm sure this is the part of the presentation that you may most be looking forward to, an opportunity to finally hear from our a student presenter. So we have a few questions prepared for Juan, which we will go through, and then we'll turn it over to you so you can ask any questions of us or of Juan. So Juan, the first question we have for you is, did you have any worries or concerns about the transfer process? If yes, what information or resources have helped you?
So yes, I had a lot of concerns when I started doing this. It was a little bit overwhelming because I didn't understand in the beginning. But I will say like the most resources that I have used is the live map at Bunker Hill with my advisors. Like they were being the ones who has helped me like my schedule like during my whole program to make sure that those credits will transfer to UMass Boston. That was my goal, right? But also I use mass transfer website that helped me a lot to understand also like what classes between Bunker Hill and UMass Boston will be transferred for sure. Like I needed to see something like myself to make sure it was mass transfer. The most website, the most thing that it helped me a lot to me. And also asking a lot of questions like with my advisors all the time, and not just with the Bunker Hill advisors, but also from UMass Boston. Every Tuesdays they were there at 2 p.m. So I was there in line, just making waiting for my turn to ask them that, hey, this is my schedule, how it looks like. Do you think that the classes that I'm taking are right? Is go to go? And they will tell me yes or no, you need to change something or not. That will make it.
And actually, I just want to add, thank you for pointing out that website. You know, when we were talking about the benefits of those transfer agreements, because they are formal agreements set up between institutions, and it is the case not just in UMass Boston and Bunker Hill partnership, it is a case for many other schools where this partnership agrees, is that there are resources, there is online guides and you know, again, resources and transfer links to see how the courses will transfer that you can utilize to verify that information, or you can use that as a resource at the initial stages as well as throughout your whole time. So that formal agreement puts out some more information available to the students at any time. Okay. I guess I can answer the next question if that's okay. All right, perfect. Thumbs up. Juan, you and I have been working out for a while together.
Yes.
What stood out to you about BHCC and UMB, and why did you choose the schools for your academic journey in the US? So it sounds like, you know, I mean, I know that you had UMB in mind kind of from the beginning. How did that kind of continue your interest?
Well, for me at the beginning, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know anything about Bunker Hill because I was at UMass Boston first. But problems happen, things happen, so I had to go to Bunker Hill. And what it stood out to me is like the how you say this, like not just the advisors, but the staff, like the professors and students make you feel like home. Like they want to make sure that you're like part of the community and they're gonna try to help you. The only thing that you have to do is ask questions. Like if you're not sure about something, just ask questions. So that was one of the things that stood out to me from Bunker Hill. And also was the size of the classes. I love that there's just like 25, 26 students per class. I love that because make it easier, not just for the professor, but also to the student to connect with the students, participate in class, and to feel that you've been heard and seen during the classes. UMB, I mean, I have to say I love UMB. UL that was my first choice because of the public research university that it is. As a psychology major, I plan to work in research, so that was one of my main goals. But also the facility, like the university itself is just beautiful, guys, is in front of the ocean, like the activities that you have can do there is just amazing. Summer, like spring is summer, for me is the best time to be at UMass Boston because they have a lot of activities to do for students, and they're quite like crazy, but in a good way, like amazing. They do a lot of things, food, like I don't know, music, live music. It's just amazing, amazing. I really love that. And UMB was like really helpful to me. Like as Shona said, she's been working with me during this whole process, and I've been feeling like they care. So I appreciate that for both sides.
Thank you for sharing that, Juan. And I can agree with you too. UMB's campus is gorgeous. I had the pleasure of visiting it last year for the first time, and the view of the ocean is spectacular. At Bunker Hill, we're not far from the ocean, but you just have to walk 15 minutes to get there.
That's true.
And you guys have the beautiful skyline of the city because you're
Yep.
just 2 minutes away from busy, bustling financial district, Faneuil Hall, from many different sites. So you have your own benefits as well, which is a great, I mean, location. Both campuses are on the subway, and you guys are very close to the TD Garden with many different sporting events. So you've got a little different angle onto the city.
TD Garden
Yes.
is 5 minutes from Bunker Hill in the subway. It's amazing how far it is. How close?
Great.
Sorry.
So the next question that we have for you, Juan, is how was your experience going through the transfer application process from BHCC to UMB?
It was pretty easy, if I'm honest. Like BICC, the first time it was just like I had to apply, as you said, like online. I submit all my documents, all the legal documents that also I needed as an international student. And I will say like a week later, I received my acceptance letter. So it was pretty easy. I was just amazed how fast it was also. With UMB, same thing. It was pretty easy. I just submit like my fast application form. I just had to resubmit my previous application that it was kind of the same legal documents like my GPA, and the unofficial transcript from Bunker Hill to make sure that the classes that I was taking, they're gonna go through the school. It was pretty easy as well. It took like 1 week, 2 weeks, I will say, and then I received my acceptance letter, so I was so excited to have it, and yeah, it was pretty easy. I will say just you have to be really organized with your legal documents. That's all. Like have everything translated to English, like have good communications with your school, with your high school, and all of that stuff, and you will be fine.
And I think that's a good, when we were talking about the ways to connect with us, if you have a question, just reach out and we'll guide you, whether it is applying to a community college, you're not sure about which document you actually need, because again, many different countries, many different regions, education systems. So just connect with us and we can help you with answering those questions because, sometimes we don't know something. So
True.
yeah. So what piece of advice would you give for prospective students who are considering this 2+2? We're talking about the 2+2 model. What piece of advice would you give those students considering?
will say at first, be organized and be on time. Like have your due dates clear, like for legal documents when you have to submit everything. Like I feel like being organized is gonna be really helpful. But also, as I said before, ask questions. If you're not sure about it, reach out to their emails. They're pretty well by answering you really fast. So yeah, that and just don't be afraid of making questions. I feel like as international students, sometimes we're afraid of like to make a question, maybe because we doubt of ourselves. But that's the reason why, guys, we have our advisors. They are for us, like to guide us in how to do the right process. Also, be engaged. Once you're here, try to engage with the community. Like I really grateful for being part of Bunker Hill. Um, Thanks to Bunker Hill, I've been in leadership roles. Like I've been working as a student engagement leader. I'm part of PTK, Vice President of Scholarship, and now I'm the president of the Latinos Unidos Club. So that's another way also for you guys to connect with different people. And when you need help and they see you like you do a lot for the community, they will be there for you as well. So just try to be engaged and enjoy the school as much as you can. Not just grades and I mean it's important, right? But like also enjoy yourself and your time at school, like as a student.
So start planning your activities for a four-year school.
Totally.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you so much, Juan, for letting us ask you these questions. And we're finished with our presentation. So now we're happy to turn it over to the audience if they have any questions for us.
Well, Grace, yeah, we have some questions. We have some questions there from some people. Just allow me to answer the first one. I'll do it in Spanish. Y es G. Cayo nos hace la primera pregunta, si podría estudiar teniendo una visa de turista. Y tal como el nombre de la visa lo dice, la visa es netamente para hacer turismo. Si yo deseo estudiar en los Estados Unidos, necesito tener una visa de estudiante. Eso sí es necesario, ¿no? Y si tengo algún familiar que esté viviendo allá en los Estados Unidos o si por ahí yo tengo la residencia americana, puedo acceder a diferentes oportunidades que me brindan los diferentes colleges y universidades en el estado donde vivo. Okay, so then we have some questions. I'm going to translate your responses, yes, to the people who had an answer here, who had a question here. And the first question is, well, we have a guy who's currently studying. He thinks on stopping university here and starting a transfer to a community college. How doable is that?
So this happens often, I would say. Even at the community college, we have many students who have previously completed some college abroad. And that is fine because you can transfer international college credit to your community college and obtain credit. What you have to do is get an official course by course evaluation with your grade point average so that those courses can be evaluated in the US system. And then they can be added to your transcript at Bunker Hill or whichever school you attend. And that's actually a great way to save some money when you go to school in the United States because you won't have to repeat those courses that you already took at your institution that you're attending right now. So I see that your university experience that you've already completed is very valuable.
Thank you, Grace. Y bueno, la respuesta es básicamente que sí, es muy común, ¿no? Este aspecto de hacer esas transferencias y para que algunos de los cursos sean reconocidos hay que hay que hacer la preparación de todos esos créditos, de los cursos, y esto va a ser evaluado en los Estados Unidos para que se puedan convalidar, como decimos, algunos cursos, ¿sí? Thank you, Grace. Well, we have other question. The question is, bueno, vamos a la pregunta que dice, ¿el tuition para los estudiantes que se transfieren a la universidad después de haber obtenido el associate degree es el mismo para un estudiante que inició estudios directamente en la universidad? Well, we have a question that is related to the tuition and the difference of the tuition that you pay at a community college and at a university. Can you let us know a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I can start with some information. So the tuition rates at every school that you attend will be a little bit different. So at Bunker Hill, as I mentioned before, currently our tuition and fees for one academic year is around $15,000. When you transfer to your new school, you're going to be paying a new tuition rate. So do you want to add something, Shauna?
No, I mean, just again, we did talk about the numbers. So specifically for UMass Boston, tuition and fees does go up to 42,000 per year. I think an important aspect that we always cover is, again, our audience may be aware of that, or financial planning is very important. Schools typically bill per semester. The bills are issued per semester. So of course, as you think about total cost, you look at the total numbers. It's just important to mention that bills are issued per semester. You do not pay upfront for a full year, and that is typical for most schools. I-20 fees do have to be shown for a full year. That's standard, and it is driven by the requirements at the embassy. But for colleges and universities, tuition and fees are billed per semester. And Grace did say this absolutely correct, is that the tuition and fees will change. Typically, 2-year colleges, just an overall tuition and fees will be lower than at a 4-year institution.
Thank you for the responses, Jana and Grace. I'm going to translate it. Y básicamente sí, si yo comienzo en un community college, el tuition va a ser menos que cuando haga mi transferencia a una universidad. Entonces, eso es algo que tenemos que tener en consideración, el tuition. Sí, es bueno hacer ese ese plan de pagos o plan de gastos que voy a tener si yo voy a estudiar en los Estados Unidos, porque sí va a cambiar, ¿no? Y el ejemplo es de Bunker Hill College, tiene un costo de $15,000 y U Massachusetts Boston tiene un costo de 40 y tantos mil dólares. Entonces el cambio, cuando yo haga mi transferencia, sí va a ser un cambio grande. Good. Y tenemos por ahí otra pregunta. ¿Podría un alumno acceder luego de 2 años a ingeniería electrónica y terminar en UMass? Sean, I guess this is a question for you. Do you have electronic engineering at the UMass?
We offer 2 full engineering programs. One of them is electrical and computer engineering. These are the 2 full engineering programs.
Awesome. And what is the path to follow if they want to study first at a community college and then transfer to UMass Boston, and regarding the career or the field to study, the field of study?
So Bunker Hill also offers an electronic engineering program.
Mm-hmm.
So you can start in that program at Bunker Hill and transfer there to UMass Boston.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Entonces, sí, ambos, el Community College y la universidad, ambos ofrecen el programa, entonces se puede seguir todo el proceso completo. They are asking for for some contact information, some Juan's contact Juan contacts information to contact him and ask him details about maybe studying there, how he did it, what processes you followed, Juan. Is it possible to get any contact maybe an email?
Yes, for sure. So I can give it to you in Spanish. Se pueden comunicar conmigo al correo electrónico. Espérame que todavía no me lo, se me olvida cada ratico el de la universidad. Va a ser j.diazhernandez@bhcc.edu.
Gracias, Juan. Thank you. Muchas gracias, Juan. Y nos
Can I
vamos.
add something really quickly?
Sure, Grace.
So at Bunker Hill, we also have a student chat platform that we use. It's called Unibuddy, where we have international students who can chat with prospective students. So if students are looking to get in contact with different students about their experience, they can go onto our website and they can click the tab chat with ambassadors, and then they can chat with different international students as well. Just in case, I don't want to get Juan to be bombarded with emails, so we can spread out the contacts among different students. But thank you for sharing, Juan.
Definitivamente. Y sí, lo que Grace nos dice es que si alguno de ustedes está interesado en contactarse con algún estudiante internacional, pueden hacerlo en la misma página web de Bunker Hill College y van a poder, bueno, tienen la opción de chatear con los embajadores del Community College y les pueden hacer las preguntas que ustedes deseen. Les van a responder ahí cada duda que tengan e incluso van a poder ir en detalles en sus preguntas. Thank you, Grace. Y nos vamos con nuestra última pregunta. We have a person who is about to finish university this 2026. And he wants to know if it's possible like to do a transfer and what are the requirements or what is your advice then?
I think, I can start with this one, and Grace, please feel free to jump in. An important part when a student has already is attending a college or university in another country is to, Grace mentioned earlier, a course-by-course evaluation because of the difference in education systems. They can do an evaluation to see where they are in regards to, let's say, an equivalency to a US degree. If they are changing their academic pathway, they can definitely possibly get some courses restarted with the community college or at a four-year institution. If they are continuing on their academic path in the same field, they would want to see, because they will already have completed a good amount of requirements. They don't want to be repeating them because, again, it's a time saving. It's money. So that evaluation will help them to see where they are in regards to US equivalency in their studies. Is it an equivalent to US bachelor's degree? Do they want to continue and take another year and a half? Most likely that would be probably at a four-year institution because they will be further up in their studies than kind of going through another 4 years. But it's definitely a conversation that they can have with a two-year institution, with a four-year institution, and see what that plan could look like. Grace, did you want to add anything?
Oh, no, sorry. I think that was a great point and something that I forgot to mention earlier too. So thank you for sharing that, right? So if somebody is close to graduating from a bachelor's degree, then it's definitely a great idea to see if maybe they would be eligible for a master's degree or some higher level degree.
Thank you both. Oh, yes. Sorry.
I was going to say, but the transfer process itself is relatively easy. The evaluation is a very important aspect of it to get the most benefit from the experience the students have already earned.
Thank you, Jana. Y bueno, sí, respondiendo a la pregunta, ¿no? De Cayo, sí es posible hacer la transferencia, no es difícil, pero siempre van a hacer esta convalidación, van a evaluarte para ver cómo estás en qué nivel estás en base a la educación de los Estados Unidos. Y es posible que no se convalide todo, ¿no? Tal vez tengas que estudiar un poco más de tiempo si haces tu transferencia a los Estados Unidos. Y bueno, esto sí tiene que ser en una universidad, en una institución de 4 años de estudio. Sí, eso es súper importante considerar. Otra opción es que finalices, ¿no? Y también pues pienses ya en un posgrado, ¿no? Aplicar a un posgrado, una maestría o un doctorado. Y bueno, muchísimas gracias a todas las personas que nos han dejado sus preguntas. Thank you very much, Grace. Thank you very much, Jana. And Juan, thank you very much for all the information that you have provided to interested students in pursuing this 2+2 process in the United States. It has been a pleasure to have you both, and Juan with his great experience and tips regarding studies there.
Thank you so much for hosting us, Alejandro, and thank you to the team at Education USA Peru. We appreciate it.
Very much, and thank you for everyone who joined today.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it, and I hope it was really helpful for you guys. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.